have this clip. This is of one of the many sprouting tent cities in the late, great United States of America. And again, this isn't really Obamonomics, because Obamonomics are globalist economics in order to gut the country on purpose so that we can beg our saviors to save us with a little thing called world government. And when you read the Copenhagen Treaty, and this is why there's so many nexus points right now, the economy's going down. They want to increase taxes. They want to demonize carbon and tax you for that as well. They want to institute 1- and 2-child policies. I had to watch that crap on CNN 2 days ago. In fact, I have the Cafferty file thing right here in front of me. Well, that's China talking about how population control is key. But right after the Cafferty file, and there were people actually emailing him saying that it was a good thing. This sounds great. We can't wait until, we start getting taxed to breathe. And told how many children we can have. And told how big of a home we can live in. And what kind of car we can drive. Well, that doesn't sound like freedom to me. In fact, that sounds a little like slavery. A slave state. But we'll just go on about our business. So right now, let's play the Obama tent city clip. And then we're going to get into Climategate, Lord Moncton, and what this climate scam is really all about. Population control and world government. Hit the clip.
In Colorado Springs, where it came from and why it came to be. We first showed you this Obamaville sign last night. It's at a homeless tent city near I-25 in Cimarron. News Channel 13's Marshall Zellinger live at that on-ramp where a new sign is in place.
Eric, that welcome to Obamaville sign now replaced with this. Please help. We need firewood, propane, and canned food. A plea on behalf of the homeless, but a sign not created by the homeless.
I didn't dream it up, but I thought it was a good idea.
Spencer Swan of Colorado Canyon Signs can take credit for designing this Obamaville sign and this new Please Help sign. But the idea came from someone else.
I thought it was just something to draw attention and help those folks.
Our coverage of the sign has stirred up quite a debate. A viewer sends us this email from his inbox. It's from Spencer Swan showing off Obamaville. The viewer writes, I am disgusted by the sign.
They didn't get any of the stimulus. They didn't get any of the hope and change. Life was tough for them.
On KRDO.com, Mary writes, quote, the person that had the sign made could have donated to the homeless shelter instead. Harley agrees, quote, you should have taken this money for the sign and given it to them.
He gives them money, gives them food, and he gives them support.
What he doesn't give is his name, but he did write on KRDO.com, asking for more help and more items for the homeless. This new sign is much smaller and easier to miss, and actually if you're driving appropriately on the on-ramp, there's really no way you're going to see that. We don't know if someone staying in the homeless area here took down the Obamaville sign or if it simply was replaced with that smaller sign. Reporting live, Marshall Zellinger.
All right, there you have it. Again, 10 cities in the United States of America, out in Colorado. I'm seeing more people than ever begging in Austin, Texas. Small business owners going out of business in the last 6 months that have been in business for 10, 20 years just can't hang with this new economy that doesn't really bring in consumers. It just inflates the dollar, degrades its value, and then tells you everything's going to be okay. Kind of laughs about it as you can't make your home payments and you're forced into a smaller car or a used automobile. You might not be able to send your child to college, or he might need a little more financial aid. But then he goes to school, and does he even learn a skill? And how much is he put into the debt system for? For those still doubting that this climate pact is about taking away from you and giving to the elite, Eat Less Meat and Dairy, official recipe to help health of consumers and the planet. Oh, the planet. See, now we're so concerned about what we're eating for the planet's sake. And it's meats and cheeses, the two most delicious food groups out there. I mean, there's nothing, I'll give you right now, that puts heaven together. Philly cheesesteak, baby. There's nothing I like better than just like shards of beef slathered in a Cheese Whiz ooze that is so unnatural and tasty. But they want to take that away from me because apparently I'm killing the planet. Now, I promised you that Cafferty file article. It's right here. Population control called key to deal. Oh, I'm sorry. That's the China Daily. This is, they're so similar. It's so hard to Read them apart. Mandatory population control to fight global warming. Now, Cafferty's done some really good work, and he takes a really skeptical approach to this and says, really? Are we going to become China? And, of course, China is demanding it. Let's put them side to side. Maybe you can zoom out for the PrisonPlanet.tv viewers. Population control called key to deal. See, it's not about just a carbon tax and world government. It's also about stopping you from having babies, stopping you from having a family, taxing you if you decide to go ahead and do it anyway. And mandatory population control to fight global warming. You know, that reminds me, guys, why don't you bring up that John Lennon clip, too, on the Dick Cavett show? You guys played that on Jones last week. You know what I'm talking about, right? It's it's where he doesn't buy into the population control argument. And, of course, Dick Cavett has a smart-ass remark. Oh, we don't need to write this second, but I want to go to it sometime in this segment. But right now, I want to go to the Lord Monckton clip, where he goes and he confronts these little Hitlerian youth that just don't get it. They don't understand what's really going on. They don't get that carbon dioxide is a life-giving gas for the universe. Okay? I know they're a little too young to understand that their parents were taught global cooling, that my generation was taught that CFCs or chlorofluorocarbons were killing the ozone layer, and that's why everything was warming. And then global warming turned to climate change, but it doesn't matter because they've been indoctrinated through the school systems, through the United Nations, through the propaganda that you see every day on television. When you see Al Sharpton and Pat Robertson holding hands on a couch on a beach talking about how they got to go green to save the world and they can come together, even though they don't agree on much. We can come together for climate change. So let's go to Monckton, schooling the kids. I'm going to talk a little bit with it because some of the audio is kind of cruddy. So let's hit that clip. We got that one? Yeah. So here's Monckton trying to discuss it with them. We'll get a little better audio in just a moment. And the two girls are kind of listening, but then here comes the smart ass. Here comes the smart ass.
Change, which appears to have happened all around the world. We can tell by proxy measures elsewhere. That was the first instrumentalist. And the whole of the 20th century saw an increase of only 0.6.
We don't really need to listen to your explanation or the background of what you believe, because if it's true, then you should be going out and saying that, and we should be seeing a scientific consensus leaning more towards what you're believing, because
no. I believe that science is done by consensus. It isn't, of course.
I know it's not.
No.
And
well,
but if you can disprove what other scientists have proved, I would love to see that. But until then, if you stop calling us Nazi youth and actually base it on principles, I would appreciate that.
You called us Hitler Youth last night.
So I did, yes. This was you, of course.
I am really offended by that. Many of my friends are Jewish.
All right, I'll tell you.
Hitler killed thousands of Jews.
And you are killing millions by starvation in the third world. And that's why I use the phrase.
And you are killing millions because of climate change.
No, because there isn't any. There hasn't been any global warming for 15 years, and you know it. If you don't know it, it's easy enough to check. Just check with any of the 5 major global temperature data sets. They are kept by the Hadley Center and CRU.
They say the last 10 years have been the hottest in history.
Yes, except that for 9 of those 10 years we have had a rapid and statistically significant decline in temperatures, which Kevin Trenberth, who is one of those who has publicly been saying what you've just said, is privately saying there has been this decline and we cannot explain it, and it's a travesty that we cannot explain it. So you have to accept...
Caught in the Climategate emails.
That the scientists do have 2 sides to this story. And that therefore it is not appropriate for you to come and break up.
You completely insulted us by associating us with Nazis.
Well, I'm glad to say that particular phrase has gone right around the world. And now you know how you are seen when you invade a private meeting and you start shrieking.
All right, let's pull the clip. Let's pull the clip. I'm loving it. Those guys don't want to hear the truth. They don't want to look at the actual data set. They don't want to sit down and watch the great global warming swindle, where the co-founder of Greenpeace, for God's sakes, goes on and says, yes, of course it's a scam. You don't understand how this works. They pushed me out of the organization. A lot of these kids are trust fund kids that don't have anything to do. They don't have any goals in life. They're easily led. And that really takes me to the 900 or 1,000 protesters that were arrested at Copenhagen. They love, or detained or whatever, they love to play that up on the media. You notice that you saw it everywhere? It was on every single network. It was even on Fox, okay? CNN, Fox, ABC, NBC, you name it. They're playing that up. Why are they playing that up? Because these people are chanting for real change and people to sign on to save the world. But that really means sign the Copenhagen Treaty, give away your sovereignty, become a part of world government, and become an advocate of population control. Folks, it's not about a carbon footprint. And you should realize that from this little article and in the New York Times. Bloomberg, the Bigfoot in carbon. Now, Bloomberg, one of these globalists, the mayor, a guy who owns part of the stock exchange, the mayor of New York City, no conflict of interest there.